If you only have followed me, you know that my passion are role-playing games, and because I have as many years as I look, I remember the times when role-playing games came in boxes. So, a role-playing game in a box is something that's immediately going to catch my eye. If it comes from a company like the Creativity Hub and it mixes Rory Story cubes, I'm going to be all over it. Because what the hell? I mean, come on, how that has to work somehow. And I have Monsieur Michael Fox, a good friend from a very long time ago. It's true.
How long have we known each other?
7 years now.
Blimey, I feel really old.
Yeah, I am very old.
We are very old now, but that's okay.
But anyway, you've done an awful lot of things.
Yes.
Now you're working for Rory Story Cubes, doing Rory Story Cubey thingies.
Yep.
And I want.
I'm going to clarify that in a second, but yeah.
But I would seriously. This is a very new venture for the Creativity Hub, and much to my very pleasant surprise, you're actually pushing role-playing games in a very, very cool direction. Tell me about Untold Adventures Await.
Cool. So Untold Adventures Await is a game that a lot of people have been asking for a very long time. Now, of course, normally story cubes is just you take your 9 story cubes, you roll them, you start a story saying once upon a time, and then a minute later it's done. In the air, gone, like a dream. This is a way more guided experience, a bit more in-depth, but really still incredibly accessible. So the idea is you are the stars of a TV show, an adventure series of your own creation. And as such, you are in full control. This is like the greatest TV show that's ever been made. 6 seasons in a movie every single time. So you start off by working together as a group, deciding what your parameters of the show is going to be. And it's literally a single sheet of paper with 4 questions on it. You ask when, where the show is going to happen, anything strange you need to know, like is there superpowers, is there magic, that kind of stuff. And last of all, the tone. Is it going to be a comedy? Is it going to be a drama? Is it going to be a romantic comedy? That kind of thing. From that gives you the guidelines of your episode. And the whole thing plays out over the course of 5 individual scenes. So with those 5 scenes, you use the story cubes to establish locations and threats, and then you'll be able to perform questions and actions. Questions, you get the answers by rolling the cubes and get inspired by what's happening there. And then for the actions, there's actually 2 custom decks that will tell you whether you've been successful or unsuccessful in your actions. And then you'll also have reactions, little faces that will pop up telling you certain people in the scene how they react to what you've just done, whether it be positive or negative.
Right. Because it comes in a box and you have certain little tiles that I have saying where you place your dice, and those have a certain amount of icons, actions, etc., etc. How, if that limits the playability of the game in limiting the number of actions and reactions that you can get?
Well, the reasons that we went for the amount of questions you can ask, the amount of actions that you can put in there, is simply because we wanted to keep the game really choppy, really speedy. So the whole game, from the moment you open the box and sit down to the moment you finish that last adventure, the last action of the last scene, you can do that in under an hour. So we wanted this game to be playable by literally anybody. From the youngest of families through to like the hardcore RPGers who just want maybe a slightly lighter experience using a very, very accessible engine. So the fact that you have, over the course of the whole show, like literally you just ask 10 questions and perform a maximum of 14 actions, it really keeps the things moving on. But because you're using your imagination, everything is moving and driving from the things that you say in the game, it really moves on at an incredible pace. So if you want to play another episode immediately after, that's entirely okay. Go for it. That's what it's there for. If you want to devote an entire evening, maybe do 2 or 3 consecutive episodes in the same series, you can totally do that. In fact, you're encouraged to do that. You're encouraged to bring your characters back, go back to another adventure, go back to the series and work your way through. We've seen story arcs develop over the course of like 3, 4, 5, 10 episodes. And it's beautiful to see because the game guides everything for you. Don't need a DM, it does everything for you.
Obviously, I mean, I don't even know why I'm going to ask this question, but the game has been designed so all the sets of Rory Story Cubes could be mixed and utilized without a problem.
You can mix and match literally any way you want. So it comes with the base set, the original set that came out in 2007, which makes it even more of a bargain. But yeah, you can take out and mix and match however you like. Of course, we have the licensed sets as well, everything from Batman and Doctor Who through to the new Adventure Time set, which I have run a couple of adventures with. So me and a bunch of friends, we sat down and we all decided to design new princesses. I was Computer Princess, stuck in the middle of a massive battle at the end of it, programming desperately, trying to summon monsters from the sky. It all works, and it's wonderful. It mixes and matches how you want. So if you want this to be a D&D-esque experience, you can just take the Fantasia set and completely replace the ones that are in there. If you want to throw in a little bit of sci-fi, you can take the small Intergalactic set, which is just 3 cubes, and match them out. You always use 9, but they can be any 9 cubes you like.
Now, in terms of the rule, how is the rule book organized? Specifically, I'm asking this for the hardcore RPGers who are used to seeing character creation, the setting, the rules, the magic system, score of sanity, etc., etc. How is that book organized?
The whole rulebook runs through essentially a game. We came up with an in-game demo that you can run all the way through. So it starts off with, this is exactly what you do. You set up the game like this. You set up the board like this. And then it goes immediately into how you will create your episode parameters, how you open up the first scene, and in the middle of the first scene is where you create your characters. Super easy. You answer 3 questions. That's it. They give themselves a couple of special abilities and items to help them in their adventure-y ways, and then it works through. It's not even a big rulebook. It's like, I think, 16 pages tops. So it's very, very small, but it gives you all the guidance that you need, and it works through in order, telling you what you need to be doing, but giving you the freedom to play the game how you want.
Is the game GM-less?
Completely GM-less. The game does everything for you. So the people who are playing are the characters, they're the showrunners, hell, they're like the tea people. You know, they have to make the tea as well. So they do everything in the game, but the game runs itself.
Is there any kind of rule or technique, or have you included something that would stop the power gamer from taking over the whole group?
Very much so. So when you ask questions or perform actions in the game, there are sets of tokens underneath each scene card, and you are encouraged to physically take one of those tokens every time you do one and put it in front of your player board. So you can see as the game goes on how engaged somebody has been. So say for example you and I are playing a 2-player game and we're in the middle of scene 4 and you have a pile of tokens that high and I have like 2 in front of me. This tells me that you have been kind of bullying the game a little bit, kind of saying, oh, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. So the players are actively encouraged to communicate with each other during play that you should be fair. You know, in a TV show with an ensemble cast, everybody will generally get the same kind of screen time, and we encourage that in the game as well. So obviously we can't force you to share the game, but we sort of like gently nudge you and go, don't be mean, make everybody have a good experience.
Any role-playing game, there are 2, for me, absolutely essential components to it. It's the storytelling and it's the character development. How does Untold balance both things?
So the storytelling sort of generates itself as the game goes on. The stories can literally go anywhere. And that's mainly down to how you interpret the cues that come from the cubes and the cues that come from the outcome and reaction cards when you do the actions. However, as for regards to character progression, you are encouraged to keep those characters and go again and again, go back to this universe that you've created and use those characters again. And as you use the characters in future episodes, you'll be able to develop them further by giving them extra abilities, giving them more items that can help them in their adventures. But you've also developed other characters, other villains, for example, that you are encouraged to bring back again and again. So there's a note-taking system in the game, and if you visit our site, creativityhub.com/untold, you'll be able to download a special series link. So it's a single sheet that tells you what you need to do to keep track of your series. So from that, you'll be able to pull the series together, see who all the big villains are, and keep on going back and doing more and more stuff.
You know, as a hardcore role-playing gamer, I'm liking this more than I should.
You should do, because it's really good. You should play it.
I think I will. I definitely think I will. Because I get the feeling that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the feeling that even if it were to be used for people like me on a solo mode to come up with ideas for adventures for other role-playing games, that would really suit very well.
It will guide you completely doing that. It's entirely playable solo. John Fiore, who's one of the co-designers, along with Rory O'Connor, is a specialist in making solo role-playing games, and as such, it is built for 1 to 4 players. You can even squeeze a couple more in there if you wanted to.
Wait a second. Rory has helped design this. Rory, the person who was petrified to be a GM in a role-playing game.
Yep. Now he doesn't have to worry because the game does it all for him. No problem whatsoever.
Genius. Nice. Genius. My God, seriously? That sounds absolutely fantastic. Seriously, that sounds absolutely brilliant. When is this available to the public? Can people buy it after the show?
Oh yeah, certainly. So the game is launching here at Essen, of course. It's going into retail channels right now. So it's going to be available around the world online in your local friendly gamer stores. The good ones only, of course. Those will be available from there. You also can get it direct from us, of course, at thecreativityhub.com/shop. Oh yeah.
And human beings, forget about Monopoly for Christmas, and I think this is probably a better, much better option. So this Christmas, Untold adventures await, and they await indeed. Michael, thank you very much. Congratulations on the success of the show, because I believe you're doing absolutely amazingly well. And I hope this goes to do great things, my friend. Thank you.
Very much. All good. Just having us.